that I'm super duper excited about here in Malaysia. If you have noticed this year, we had a lot of music festivals coming up.
I was so happy, I was so excited. Like, the only word that came to my mind was finally.
Yes.
We are, having all these concerts happening around, and not just concerts, lah. We've got like all sorts of different tourism industry blooming out and about is because moving away from the pandemic era and to endemicity, and right now we are so excited to just move forward in that sense. What's in store for us in 2024? I'm just getting so excited.
Exactly. Could there be another festival happening? Well, let's find out, ladies and gentlemen, with our guest this morning. She is an icon, all right, in the industry. You have known her. You probably have seen her all over TV, all over music festivals, all over interviews. She's the one and only. I call her Puan Zai. Good morning, Puan Zai.
Good morning, Zoe. Good morning, Brandon. How are you?
We are okay, getting excited, lots to talk about. And of course, I have to say, I don't want to say this, but I think I must say this.
Please do.
Let's talk about Good Vibes Festival. Yay!
Wow.
Yeah,
right.
well,
No.
No, we have to talk about this because where you're from,
Right.
you're also part of this whole mess altogether, right? In terms of like getting things back on track, so on and so forth. My Creative Ventures, right?
To a degree, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go. I have to do that.
Yeah, but by the way, I spoke to like people of My Creative as well. It was at the end of the day, kudos to you guys as well. Kudos to the whole organization. Of course, it was done with another different organizer as well. We're gonna come back to it. We're gonna push aside that interesting event here in Malaysia to speak about something that is again very, very new.
Yeah.
So first, let me ask you, what do you think about our music industry right now, or the music tourism here in Malaysia? Because again, like you mentioned, there was so many different festivals coming down. We had so many different artists coming down to Malaysia as well. So what is the current climate for our music tourism?
I mean, rightfully, as you said in the beginning, it's very exciting with moving away, from the pandemic, and there's a lot of positive vibes, and a lot of concerts going around, and in lieu of that, which is the very thing that I think one of the things I want to bring forward here is about the music festival and the music fraternity that My Creative Venture is supporting. So it's good. A lot of festivals out there and a lot more to come in 2024.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to for sure.
Okay, please free tickets, thank you. And also with regards to all this festival that's upcoming and all that, of course, recently what happened was Belanjawan 2024, right? Let's talk about the budget and with regards to this creative ventures altogether. Is it okay? Are you excited about it?
Like when we were waiting for the embargoed news, right? The Prime Minister made an exciting, positive, supportive announcement, i.e. 160 million to be, provided for the creative industry. Of course, it's divided between FINAS, MDEC, and My Creative Venture. But all in all, you've got 90 million for FIMI, you've got 60 million for Dana Kandungan Digital, which is headed by these three agencies I just mentioned. And hooray, surprise, My Creative Venture also is successful in getting our matching grant, i.e. Dana Padanan. So that's, it's all good. And the best news is, of course, the 25% of entertainment tax, which is no longer applicable.
Yes.
I mean, they've been waiting for that for the longest time. Our first, I think, Akta Hiburan is in 1953 and revised in 73. And 2023, you notice it's 333, right?
Yeah.
So third time
3 is the magic number here.
Third time lucky, and I think that's one of the best gifts the government is given to all the industry practitioners.
Yep.
And very, very much welcome. So all good, 2024 moving forward.
Yay.
Yay.
Of course, with my history with My Creative Venture is, of course, for... can we talk about Rio a little bit?
Of course, yes.
So I hosted, not the last Rio, the last other Rio I wasn't around, but the Penang one, that was amazing.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And I've seen the start of Rio when you first started in Bangsa, and of course all the way to now Kembara Rio as well.
Yeah.
That is a massive, massive growth, and of course also a great platform for local musicians.
Yep.
So for the future, for 2024, with the introduction of the new budget, how is My Creative Venture going to support support the music industry, or how is My Creative Venture gonna help promote and establish further our music tourism here in Malaysia?
Right. So what I like to bring to everybody's attention about the current Dana Kandungan Digital, which is a grant by nature, and also, by the way, for KL practitioner, 28th of October, we have this event called Ask Me Anything. So it's happening at Aswara. It is for our grant applicant. Come by and ask us anything about how to go about it, what are the do's and don'ts, what are we looking for. So again, this provision will actually provide opportunity, financial assistance to all of our music practitioners. So I wanted to highlight Dana Kandungan Digital, and that when you mentioned Rio, ZOEY, rightfully, we're up to our 41 edition now.
Yes,
so we've done 41
crazy.
editions. 41, because it didn't stop during pandemic. So we, they kept going, and so kudos to the team and energized pandemic atau tidak pandemic. So if you can see, there's financial support from the Dana. There is also a platform for Rio. So it is creating an ecosystem, and I'd like to call upon Malaysian especially, like, you gotta love your craft, right? You can appreciate from our neighboring country, but you gotta love our wonderful talent, the kind of support we want to do, because that's the only way our musician and our creative practitioner can be sustainable, right? So that's important. So don't forget the Dana Kandungan Digital, that is driven by us, supported largely by Kementerian Komunikasi and Digital.
The DKD, right?
That's right.
But of course, we spoke about DKD a couple of times as well on the show. When it comes to DKD, talents out there and whoever wants to be part of this whole initiative and program, actually what's in store for them? How do they know more about this? What can they do? The ins and outs of this DKD?
Right. So first and foremost, kena rajin look into our website, always, www.mycreative.com.my, because we're always updating what's up and what's next. That's number one. So in order to apply, there is, of course, very basic baseline to applying. You have to be a registered entity, because not individual. You have to be at least 1 year in existence, in practicing, and with all the right papers, right? And so there's something for everybody, like we will provide. We will consider, we will look into application from the startups, the newest to some of the more established ones, right? And also the process is very transparent, because there is the pitching process, there is the pelulus process, and in the middle we have your pit stop, we have what is called milestone. We got to call you and say, hey, tell us about how's it going, how's your ticket sales, do you need help? So we don't just do financial. So we say, hey, I think you need to connect with school. Let's see how we can help you there. So capacity building. So it's all good. I mean, I'm much more senior than the both of you. I came from a world where when I wanted to take music, my dad would go, what? You want to take music? So yes, I did come from those days, and I've seen how the industry has kind of catapulted. It's amazing. Public university, private university, the government support, corporation support. So it's good. We just got to love our arts and craft, our heritage, and our talent. Lot more.
Yeah.
It's called venture for a reason, isn't it? It's not just, you come, I give you some stuff, some money, you just go and do whatever you need to do. No, it's not like that.
It's almost a 360 assistance or grant, right? So you don't just, hey, it's not just, I'm going to apply, you're going to give me money, and I'm going to do whatever I want with the money. You are actually helping them, especially for our newer musicians out there or inexperienced, because it's still business. Music is still a business.
Correct.
Yes, it's still something that, as much as we want to be like, yes, creativity, yes, we want to make the best music ever, but for you to be able to make your music, you need to be able to have a little bit of, ka-ching right over there. And it's great that you are also assisting them in terms of the marketing, how to approach your audiences. So what is who else can apply for this? If it's somebody who is perhaps, okay, I don't have a company, I don't have somebody I can lean on to, but I really want to be a part of this because I want to grow. What is the solution here? Do I just, apply my own, make my own SSM, and then at least wait for a year? Or how do we go about this for newer musicians who are thinking about applying for this grant?
Right. So aptly as how you put it, you got to take your art seriously, because if you don't, who else will? You got to put value on your work. So part of the process of, in your proposal, there is a business plan, not so, severely, like, it's quite simple. We will ask things like, what's your target audience? How many can you target? What is your ticket price? And we want to know that because we have to get all our creative practitioners to start thinking about, as you put it, ka-ching, right? So, because that's the only way to be sustainable. So art is not free. Put a price on your work.
Yep.
So if you're an individual about to start up and like, you don't have a registered business, you need to be disciplined about it. And then, because again, we are responsible for the funds that we give.
Yep.
It's not an entitlement per se, because we're all responsible. And if you want to be taken seriously, you need to take your craft seriously.
Yeah.
In it. And
correct.
so just to say, like, our DKD is a full grant. So you are given that after all the transparency, the processes of how to apply. But if you remember earlier on, I mentioned the matching grant.
Yes.
So the matching grant is like, we will fund whatever you have managed to raise outside, which means, can you imagine, like, your work is that good, you have a corporate client or a certain brand wanting to support it, like, and you come to us and like, these guys are good, because you are serious about your work, you present it in such a way that non-governmental or non-grant providers like us, like, this is good. And so that in itself will teach you as an artist to take your work seriously. So not art for art's sake. So we're reporting 1.97% in the GDP right now, and we have a huge target by 2030. So we got to get in this bandwagon together.
Yeah. You gotta get it. You gotta get the ball rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a numbers game.
Yeah.
And numbers don't lie.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So you've overseen this grant for a little bit, about 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Or MyCreative Ventures has.
MyCreative Venture is entrusted to manage this fund in 2022. And to date, they have, I think, about 1,500 artisans has been employed through this initiative. And this year we have 17 penerima for the Dana music performance, because we have 3. We have musical performance, we have a marketability domestic, and marketability international. So we've got about 17 performances for the year of 2023. And the grant is still open, and it closes November 3rd. So
hurry up.
You have like how many more weeks?
Get on it.
You have about like, I think 1 more week, right?
Yeah,
one more week to
yeah.
apply. For those of them who are who wants to apply or who have applied before and failed, what are your advice on making the application a lot
Friendly in that sense, lah.
Yeah, a lot more strong,
Right.
So menonjol lah.
Menonjol,
In Malay, it's menonjol.
Menonjol,
Yes.
like outstanding.
Yes, outstanding.
Different. Look, be innovative. How are you different from the rest? What is your USP, like your unique selling point? Think collaboration. I love collaboration. Like, even if it's something heritage and you immerse with experiential or digital transformation of sorts. So after all, it's Kementerian Komunikasi dan Digital, right?
Yes.
So make it, how is your work different, right? And don't forget, I mentioned earlier, what we're doing this year differently is physically being present to do AMA Ask Me Anything. And the KL chapter will be in Aswara, October 28th. We will be in Kuching on the 24th. We were just in Sabah yesterday. So we're after making it inclusive. Yeah. So is it your kampung?
Sabah.
There you go. Yeah. So making it inclusive, and I think personal interaction is better than, because this interview was supposed to be virtual at some point, and I said no, I want to meet these two useful people and energized people personally. It's better that way, isn't it?
Exactly. And at the end of the day, you're able to meet and see that person. Because virtually, you're only seeing this. You're only seeing the face.
It's like only 2 dimensions. This is like 3 and more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's talk about, continue talking about growth right here. What kind of other growth that it's needed in terms of growth altogether in this wonderful spectrum that we're talking about?
Okay. So earlier on I mentioned about ecosystem 360 and basic economy is demand and supply. Yeah. So let's talk about our country, and how do we create more demand so they can supply, right? And in order to do that, for me, I think partly is this word jati diri, jati diri, sense of belonging, and like I really love what my countrymen and women are doing. And we've got great artists out there, that's one. Number 2, then there's the funding mechanism, right? Of course, the recent budget announcement is very well received, and I have friends practicing from around the region and actually saying to me, Malaysia is really, really supportive. Because they said, Zai, where we come from, we will be lucky to get this. And I said, I know. So we have to really make good use of that and be accountable and be responsible. At the end of the day, for My Creative Venture, we have our deliverables and reporting to our big boss.
Your bosses, your bigger bosses.
We have our bosses as well, which is actually the country, which is actually the rakyat and the people, right?
Exactly.
So there's demand and supply, ecosystem, funding from the government, and also I think the corporation are giving in more and more. There's also now tax exemption announced by MOTEC. It's all good. So in my view, right, Brandon, as you're saying, see all of this encapsulate to creating a more vibrant environment, ecosystem, and also, of course, the role of media ever so important, like numero uno in terms of talking about it. And really, for me, you can kasih and sayang to your nation. That's important. And our talent is unbelievably good.
They are.
Exactly.
Unbelievably good. So go ahead and love the other neighboring countries. Tapi jangan lupa where we're from and what are we here for,
Exactly.
Awesome.
Because I always say, like, whenever we have newer musicians on the show or lesser known musicians on the show as well, whenever they play the music, the first reaction I think everyone would get, whoa, that sounds so good. And it's almost like a little diss. Because you don't, I'm like, of course it sounds good, regardless of wherever the music is made. Music is, it's good and it's bad. That's it. You don't have to be like, oh, sounds so international. No, it's Malaysian. It's made by Malaysian, right? So coming back to the grant itself, you spoke a lot about transparency. So how is My Creative Venture ensuring the transparency in terms of picking the applicants and picking the recipients for the grant?
Right. So again, if you remember, there is a pitching session and there is a group of panel. That group of panel for pitching will never be the group of panel for pelulus. So you can't be pitching to me and I can go jump to the next band. We're going, I got to approve this. Like totally, that world will never cross, right? So that in itself provides, so they are independent of their own opinion. So, and then when you actually deliver your work, right? Okay, some people talk about our reporting, but trust me, I've been to other places where reporting is by larger, right? So you need to send in your report. You need to, of course, have all the evidence, track record, supporting document to say that, okay, this is all true and fair. Sebab you need to take, again, your art seriously. Sebab kalau you tak discipline, if you're not disciplined, how can you go out there and raise funds, for example, and convince funders? Because let's face it, funds for the art is tougher compared to other initiatives. But the world is so much better when the arts is around, kan? But you just need to be. I hope I'm answering your question about the transparency. And again, ask us anything. You can just, we're a very friendly party at MyCV. Drop us an email, and I'd like to exercise the habit of being. I'm accessible most times.
That's nice.
And I'm not nocturnal, so I sleep really late.
So. Okay. I'll be texting you later on, 2 a.m.
Of course.
All right.
Yes, of course. We have to wrap things up right now. We've got lots to actually talk to you about with regards to all the grants that's out there for us to enjoy from and to improve ourselves if we are talents ourselves. Or maybe if we just want to venture in the art scene in terms of all this creativity that's ongoing in our lives.
Exactly. Or if My Creative Venture wants to find hosts, we're always available.
Yes,
I have.
I just love how Zoe just put it out there. Just like that.
Anyways, thank you so much, Bonsai, for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
And
Thank
just
you.
a reminder again, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and submit your applications for the grant, which will be closing very, very soon on the 3rd of November, correct?
That's correct.
And also, remember to drop by my Ask Me Anything, right?
Yes.
Which is happening next week, 28th of October. If anything, you can, of course, just Google and follow them on their social media, My Creative Ventures. Thank you again so much, Bonsai.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.